I was sitting alone at this function, awkwardly looking around. I was an intern in human resources, and I didn't know anyone. The only reason why I even came was because my boss said it'd be good for networking. As I was sitting here, a guy came up to me. He sat down, introduced himself, and we began talking. He was smart, charming, and, if I'm being completely honest, pretty good looking. We exchanged phone numbers with a promise to call soon. From there began a whirlwind of romance. Will and I were almost always together, straight from the start. He was constantly checking up on me and always wanted to be in my presence. We eventually moved in together and became closer than ever. He got promoted and was making enough money to support the both of us. He encouraged me to quit my job and pursue my passion for creative writing, which I did. I don't know exactly when the change happened, but it did. Will became irrationally jealous. He wouldn't let me talk to any guys who were my family. He didn't let me go out with my friends anymore, saying that they were a bad influence on me. In fact, I remember very clearly the first time that he physically hurt me was because of this.
Where have you been?
Out?
With who?
Just Jonah.
Did I say you could go out with Jonah?
I don't need your permission to go out and get a coffee with my friends.
Oh, and you're spending my money on overpriced coffee.
Okay, it was only 20 minutes.
I don't like her. She's a bad influence on you.
You don't like any of my friends.
I'm just trying to help you.
I'm not a child, Will. I can make my own decisions.
But no, you can't.
Stop being so condescending. It's getting on my nerves.
I wouldn't have to be if you just stayed at home.
Stop treating me like a child.
Listen to me. You will not go out without my permission. You know what happens to stupid girls like you? You get assaulted, raped, murdered.
Will,
When will you get this through your thick skull?
Will, you're hurting me.
For some reason, I didn't cry. I didn't react at all. Maybe it was because I was so shocked. Maybe it was because the situation hadn't quite registered in my mind, but all I could do was sit and stare off into space, trying to wrap my head around what had just happened. If you asked, I couldn't be able to tell you how long I sat there. Could have been 10 minutes, could have been 2 hours. But at one point, Will returned.
Kaya? Honey, I'm sorry. I promise, I don't know what came over me. It will never happen again.
And I believed him. After all, it was only one incident, right? But soon after, it happened again, and again, and again. Each time, he would bring me back a gift as an apology. A ring meant, I'm sorry I punched you in the eye. A bracelet meant, I'm sorry that I bruised your arms. A necklace meant, I'm sorry that I nearly broke your jaw. Each time, he promised it would never happen again. Each time I believed him, and each time he broke his promise to me. I thought that if it would get better, that he would change. But he never did. Things got worse and worse.
So, I finished my first collection of short stories today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read them?
Not really.
Oh. Well, you were the one who told me I should be an author.
Yeah, so that you can have something to do while I'm at work. Why do you think I want to read that crap you write?
Well, I'm sorry. You were the one to encourage me to pursue this career.
Do you see me reading anything other than classical literature? Do you think you're writing compares anything to Dante, Tolstoy, or Kafka, don't bother me with your childish nonsense.
Well, can I at least send a copy to my sister?
What did I tell you about talking to her? All she ever talks about is her ass of a husband and encourages you to be reckless and irresponsible.
Please, Will, I haven't talked to her in so long. Let me send her this one thing.
No, this topic is closed. Now get in there and make me dinner.
As time went on, the abuse, insults, and put-downs became more frequent. I was acquiring bruises and cuts more quickly than they could heal. Years passed. I was afraid to speak out. Why would anyone believe me? Will was so charming, and he was in such a high position at work. How could this reliable, honest man abuse his partner? So I suffered in silence, afraid to say anything that may set him off, or do anything wrong. I couldn't just leave. Who else would want me? Who would bother with keeping me safe from the monster that lived under my roof? Will's temper was as bad as ever the last time he abused me. He could go from 0 to 100 in about 3 seconds, and was completely irrational and sucked into his own world.
Where have you been?
At the auto repair shop, like you told me to?
I expected you back an hour ago. It's not that far.
Well, there was some trouble with the car and then, there was a lot of traffic. It is snowing and all.
Liar.
What?
You were obviously with the auto repair guy.
Will, I would never.
Cut the crap, Kaya. I know for the entire time we've been together, you've never been satisfied with me.
Will, that's not true.
Okay, what about Carter next door? Or Michael down the hall?
Will, I would never do that to you.
Shut up, you cheating little whore! If you just listen to me, I wouldn't have to discipline you.
It was actually my sister who got me out of this mess. She came over while Will was gone.
Mommy.
Kaya! Hi! I haven't seen you in so long, so I decided that I would stop by.
Chloe? Come on in.
Hi, it's good to see you. Kaya, what's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
Kaya, it's obviously something you've been crying.
It's nothing. Come on.
No, Kaya, seriously, I'm your sister. You can tell me.
It's Will.
I told her everything. Once I had started, it was hard to stop. Allison didn't say a word the entire time. She rubbed my back and nodded as I told her everything that had happened over the past few years. After I finished my story, she didn't judge me. She didn't judge Will, even. In that moment, she only cared about me being safe. She called the police right away. She didn't want me spending another 5 minutes alone with him. We waited with the police until Will came back. It wasn't pretty. It's now been 2 years since I've seen Will. 2 years of being alone, of being safe. 2 years of slowly gaining back all of my friends. 2 years of intense therapy to deal with the emotional damage Will caused me. To finally be able to trust new people. Now, for the first time in 2 years, I'm going on a date. And I can confidently say that this chapter of my life has closed.